Yes.
I'll let you pick. What do you want to do with Doug fir? It's a tag. Let's do that one. 2408.
2408. Good. We got
wait, they can't see us.
Oh.
All right, we'll keep going.
We'll keep going. There's a tag tree. No tree there, but there's a tag. There was a tree there. Look at this Gramper, or do you want to look at...
do you have Gramper?
Yeah, we got Gramper right here.
Yeah, let's look at that.
All right, Abies grandis. That's a thing of beauty. Actually, this has shown really good growth this year.
Is there a tag? Thank you, asking.
I don't see a tag, no.
Sometimes in the ground.
Okay. This is a beautiful Gramper. It's 28 inches tall. You know what's interesting on this guy? It has this year's growth at, there's a 9-inch leader this year. That's nice.
Been browsed.
It's been browsed. Uh, 13-inch average canopy. And stem diameter 1 inch at the base, but vigorous. It looks really good. There's a lupin here right next to it. Maybe that contributed to it, but that looks very nice. Yeah, success.
You want to do that cottonwood?
Look at that cottonwood.
I don't think we have the right tool, but we can probably get a height. Wow, look at it. Actually, that's a decent diameter.
It's an excellent looking tree. There's a tagged
Yeah, I
tree
think
right
that's
next to this here, as far as western white pine.
Yep, that's a new tag, so
A
that's
new
probably
tag.
James.
Okay. I'd have to measure with the laser to get an accurate height on it. And I'll do a base and a DBH just for fun.
Thanks.
It's 3 inches at the base, 2 inches at the DBH. Estimating height at,
Yeah, I got a laser.
twelve and a half feet tall.
Is that what you get? I'm going to try with a laser.
Okay, about 12 and a half feet. You got the laser. It's quite vigorous. It's growing in a slight depression where it might have had a little more standing water at one
14
point.
feet.
Huh?
14 feet.
14 feet.
Yes.
Why this one is so huge comparing the other?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know, but
There's probably a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Cottonwood can go very deep for water.
Okay.
So it's possible just because it's in a depression, it got to water a little more quickly. It's also possible that those got browsed, and this one happened to escape browse. And that's another reason it could have gotten up high. We probably planted it, so that would have also given it an advantage if these had come in naturally. We did plant cottonwood. It had the best survival rates of all of our plantings on the coarse sediment. So, we didn't tag everything we planted, so it's hard to say which reason is why that one's so much taller.
What do you got? 14 feet?
Yep.
Okay. It's in a slight depression. It was in a favorable spot, planted right behind a log. That probably helped it out for a little while. Of course, this is our fastest growing native tree. And it's living up to that.
What's particularly interesting is this tree is probably not that much.
Sorry.
This tree's probably not that much. Oh, I know the little cedar. So this cottonwood is probably not that much different in age as the ones that we'll see walking through the forests, and it's doing pretty well. It's about 14 feet tall, but the average canopy height just last year up on these fine sediment valley wall surfaces was about 25 feet. So, almost double this height. And a lot of the individual cottonwoods on that valley wall are close to 30 or 35 feet tall. So surface matters. There's more moisture in the fine sediments, which is really the first and most important resource for a plant. Nitrogen comes next.
Thank you. What is your personal feeling about this sort of living laboratory?
Yeah. Well, for botanists, this is like a dream job, and this is a dream experience to see a site go from a lake to a forest, at least in some places. But yeah, to watch primary succession happen, to see how plants respond and what comes in and at what density and why. It's amazing. It's an awesome experience.
And did you expect such a success of the vegetation, or are you surprised about the speed of the vegetation, etc.?
I would say overall, the rapid response on the fine sediments was a surprise. I mean, we weren't sure how woody species were going to respond to living in pure silt and clay, especially once it dried out. But there was no hesitation. I mean, the plants came in at high densities, and we haven't seen any response, any negative response. Here we are 6 years after. On these surfaces, these coarse materials, it's not really a surprise that we haven't seen the natural regeneration. But I guess I would say I'm surprised by how amazing riverbank lupin did. That's a species that typically lives in the floodplain, so we didn't necessarily know it was going to like being 20 to 60 feet above the water table. We figured that might not be the best place for it, but we tried it, and lo and behold, it doesn't seem to mind at all being high and dry. So that was a big surprise.
And could you just tell us a few words? Quand j'ai mon sac là-bas, tu vas le voir. Ça va être chiant, pas si on peut montrer le plot à côté. Si tu vois ou pas le sac, si tu zoomes vers. Ouais. Oh, sorry. What would be happening when you do nothing and just compare?
What would have happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so if we had done nothing on the valley wall, it wouldn't have been noticeable. So we didn't do a whole lot on the fine sediments in the valley wall because we saw the natural regeneration, but we did plant in some places before that natural regeneration came in. There is a difference. It's not easy to see. It's more the trained botanist that would notice that the composition of species is different where it planted. Out here, so in other words, on the valley wall, the species richness might be a little lower. there might be just restricted to less species.